Hello? Yes? Alright.
A little low, I think.
Maybe. Like this? I hope I don't hit the mic.
Hello, everyone.
As always, checking the sounds.
I think we're good.
Yes?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, we're good to go. Welcome everyone to another Open Source Thursdays by hexdevs.com. I'm Stephanie.
And I'm Thiago.
And we are hexdevs.com.
We're not .com. That's fine.
Yeah. If you are new here to this channel and to hexdevs, we are the Rails devs behind hexdevs. We do projects like this where we do things and we share what we have learned in a way that saves you time and helps you achieve your goals as a developer. Open Source Thursdays is this project where we do every Thursday. We are currently working on a Rails bug fix. In case you haven't seen the other lives, we have them all in a playlist. The goal with the Open Source Thursdays is to show how to navigate in a large code base such as Rails, stumbling around, debugging, making lots of mistakes, reading the docs, and learning in real time. We don't plan for anything.
Yeah, we just swing it. Pretty much, we probably spend an hour or two every week doing this, and we try to at least write about it on our blogs, but it's pretty much it's very
Figuring out.
figuring it out, and I think we've learned a bunch of cool stuff
Yes.
for the past month, I guess, more than a month now. And we always learn something new. Every time we do this, we learn something new, so it's useful to learn, and yeah, it's been pretty fun.
Yes. And to share a little bit about the issue that we have been working on, let me share here the screen. So this is the bug that we are working on, and we have explained this before, why we chose this issue, because it had reproducible steps, and we literally asked for guidance on how we should move on. We also got that's good news. We also got a review here. Yeah, so coming back, we spent a huge amount of time figuring out this bug, how to fix it and how to do it in the Rails code. And last time we opened a pull request, which we got some reviews, and that's what we are going to work on today. We are going to address the code reviews and see what we are getting back from the Rails community, which is great because that's exactly what we needed. Code reviews. We don't know what we are missing, and yeah, that's what we're going to do today. How do you think we should get started? Because I just noticed this comment that maybe we should go through the reviews again, I guess.
Do you wanna do a recap. So
Yeah,
let's just a quick recap. So last week, 2 weeks. Well, I think we did something last week, but we didn't do the live. But we cleaned up the pull request, and we wrote some code that would fix the issue, at least from our perspective. And then we submitted a PR, and then we got some feedback. So let's just read the feedback.
Yeah.
From the start.
This is the issue. So we have a feedback there. Okay. So first, Zach, I don't know his name, Zachary added this, and now he added here in the issue. But maybe let's get back to where we stopped. So here we saw that in another PR, someone was suggesting a doc update. It was something unrelated, I guess. Yes, it was related a little bit. It's just documentation, but it's highly related.
Okay.
Oh, by the way, if there is anyone watching us, drop a hi in the chat and let us know your thoughts on the pull request and if you have any questions.
Yeah, so getting back to the pull request review. So we mentioned that we might need to update the docs because of that update. And then we got a feedback saying, okay, it's a good idea to add, to change the docs. And then Pixeltrix, I go down a bit, added a comment saying, okay, so you created this service enable code, and then he asked, what happens if there's a mirror service configured and one of the mirrors is a disk service? So I think what he's saying is that if you have a service for active storage that has a mirror, so it's more than one, it's probably more than one place that is storing the data.
So you mean in development and in production, or
on the
in
same,
Amazon and
in the same environment always, but probably a mirror service allows you to have the files, I guess, in two places at the same time, maybe two directories, or maybe on S3 and GCP. I don't know. We will have to check to see what the mirror service is, but probably that's the idea. So this type of service, probably inside the mirror service, there's probably a list of services within it, and then maybe one of them can be a disk service and the other one is not a disk service or whatever. So probably we would need to check and see. We need to handle this kind of edge case where if it's a mirror service, you have to look inside it and see what's doing. So maybe that's what he's talking about. And then let's see the other. So Zach said, okay, so in my opinion, draw routes false is doing exactly what is intended to do. What is the purpose of turning off those routes but still want the URL helpers? You cannot have one with without the other. So if you turn off those routes, why do you want to keep the URL helpers? He's kind of right, because having the URL helper but not having the routes, it's kind of, maybe it's kind of pointless. But I think on the original issue, someone wanted to test it or try it out, so the person didn't need the routes, but we will have to double check that.
Yeah, in this case, it's because it was a Rails API only, and they would implement their own routes.
Okay.
That's why. So I think that's why he said here, okay, so I got the context reading this
Okay,
thread.
so let's not confuse the viewers. So let's go back. Okay, so he mentioned this, and he probably got back to the issue. So let's just read more. So perhaps if you just wanted some of the routes, but not all of them, we could provide that feature. Draw routes could take some params, so only enable part of the routes. But I'd like to know a bit more what you're trying to do. So probably he went back and checked the issue. So let's look at
let's go back to the issue.
And then he left another comment on the issue. Okay. Sorry, I went back to reread this thread again and gain some more context. So this is the nice thing about documenting everything, because when you create a pull request, it's always a good idea to link to an issue, because the discussion is there and then the person can see what's going on. Even if you explain on your pull request what you're trying to achieve, sometimes the person doesn't get it, so it's always good to have that link there. So that's what happened here. So he went back, he gained more context, and then he said, after reading your patch, I think the disk service enabled path might be more complicated than we need. That's fair. What if we just did something like active storage draw routes, disk service, and that would only draw the disk service routes you required? So the options would be all, disk only, or none. And then he pinged Pixel Tricks for that. So let's try to understand what he's saying. So I guess you want to draw everything, all the routes, or you want to draw only the disk service routes, or none of the routes. So if you do draw false, oh, I see what he's saying. So instead of saying draw routes true or false, what he's saying is you pass in more than two options, right?
Okay.
So draw routes, instead of true or false, you give it a symbol, like, because you can have multiple options that way.
Right.
And then you can do draw routes all, draw routes disk service or disk only, or draw routes none, which will be the false case. And then you do it accordingly, which is kind of interesting.
Yeah.
Makes it more explicit, right? If you think about it.
Okay. That makes sense. Okay. I'm just confirming, because in the context of this issue, the person wanted to implement the routes themselves. And so in that case, they would just need draw routes none.
Draw routes
None.
Draw routes disk service, I think,
Disk
in their case.
Yeah, because he said here that you can't have they are tied together, like,
yeah, because
right?
if you have the helper giving you the path to the route, whatever, but you don't have the route, it's kind of pointless, because you can't really use it, right? So what he's proposing is that instead of looking at the service, checking to see if it's a disk service or not, we wouldn't need to do any of that. The person would only need to set it. So the person sets the thing that the person wants. Sorry. And that's it. You don't need to check for disk service enable or anything. That would simplify it. And then we would only work on the routes depending on the...
And we would probably not have to deal with the mirrors.
Yeah, because the person would tell us, right?
Yeah.
So we wouldn't need to do any of that. Well, viewers can't see my finger, but we probably wouldn't need to do this, right? because if I know if draw routes is not a boolean, it's a
Block?
symbol.
Okay.
No, it's a symbol. If draw routes gives me a symbol instead of a boolean, I can just check, and then on the routes file, where is the routes file? So here, let's see. So instead of doing if this, we would we do like a case, case when draw routes is disk service, we do a part of it.
Right.
If it's none, you don't do anything. If it's all, you do everything. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then the code gets a little better. Yeah,
Sorry.
you wouldn't need to do this anymore. So maybe probably with the case when disk service, maybe you do this. We'll have to check, but it's probably something like that.
You know, and that makes sense, because then okay, no, actually, let me go back. Yeah, we will definitely need to just here say that when you have the draw routes to none, you have to, when you disable the storage default routes with the draw routes, and now it will be none, you will have to I'm rambling around. I just want to say that we would just need to change this part of this documentation, and not necessarily the feature itself. Does that make sense?
We would have to change
no,
so
but I
the
mean
feature
this functionality of letting people know that if you don't have the draw routes enabled, you will still need to have this in mind. Yeah, okay, I think I got it.
The problem is that if we change this to a symbol, we would have to have a way to change the default, right? So probably Rails has this defaults thing, but the idea is that it's not true or false anymore. It's a symbol, so you have to handle that as well. I don't really know how they do it. I guess they have this Rails defaults thing per version that overrides the defaults, and then do we have to handle, because think about it, people if they update, so this is a breaking change, right?
This is
this is a breaking change. It's fine, but it needs to be addressed. So it's a breaking change, and you're gonna need to update your config, right? Your environment or config. So draw routes is not true or false anymore. It's gonna be a symbol. And then I guess we have to wait for them to figure this out, because it's not really on us to decide that, I guess.
Yeah, because that goes to a whole more complicated.
So this is the thing. It makes the code simpler.
Yeah.
But adding this change is more complicated because it's a breaking change, right? You're changing the contract of the configuration, which happens all the time.
Yeah.
So it's probably gonna take a while to get merged.
Well, it will get some more time to implement it.
Because are we on Rails 6.2?
I don't know.
The latest one, I guess 6.1.
6.14.
Yeah, so that would go probably on 6.2, right? Because the breaking change is not a patch anymore.
Yeah. Yeah, because that... Okay, I think we need to bring this up for more discussion, because if this is such a, what is the name of a very specific weird case?
Edge case?
Edge case. Is it worth it making a breaking change like that in a project like Rails? Like, I don't know. I don't know how these decisions are made.
Yeah, I don't have that context
Mm-hmm.
to know. But it does make the code easier to understand the feature easier.
Yeah.
But you have to think, okay, so is this worth it
Yeah.
to change it like that?
Yeah. Or is it just a matter to add to the documentation, for example, if you need to get the disk service routes, the URL routes helper, sorry. So maybe the more practical solution is to update the docs and say, this is an edge case, but if you run into it, do this. But yeah, I don't know. I think we have to ask how are these decisions made, because it's a big one. Although it's simpler, right? But it's a big one, and
Yeah.
we
I don't know.
definitely, yeah. Okay, so maybe what we can do is just add another discussion here. But then should we discuss here in the issue or in the pull request?
I guess this go on the issue because like suppose they agree on this suggestion, and it's probably a different pull request maybe.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, okay.
But probably we could add to the discussion here. Yeah, but it's pretty obvious what he's saying. So he's saying draw routes should receive a symbol instead of true or false, and that changes a couple of things, and we will have to handle the breaking change.
Yeah.
But as long as they agree, we can do that. It's just that we're newbies to Rails, so we don't know.
We're totally newbies, and so far everything that we have done is by actively trying things and asking for feedback instead of just giving up. And it's been working well, right? And why not ask people that already know, and hopefully we will be these people in the near future.
Do you think they have some documentation for breaking changes?
For sure, they do.
We could check that out to see.
Editing Rails. Yeah, I think you have to create a maybe it's a change log? No. How do you create a patch? Would this be a patch? No.
No, because the breaking change is a minor bump. So probably 6.2, right? Because the breaking change. A patch doesn't change the contract. So if you're changing draw routes to a symbol, I guess it is a breaking change because you're changing the use of that configuration. It's not a big one, but it is, because you have to handle that, right?
Yeah.
People would still be passing true or false there. You have to update it.
Iterate, updating, older version, backporting. Yeah, I don't see anything about breaking changes exactly.
Let's see, maybe. see.
That's a good point. Okay.
I guess I would say thank you for your suggestion.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, what he's saying makes sense. I like his proposal, but I'm not the one to make the call, right?
Yeah.
Maybe say we like your suggestion, but we're not sure how to proceed in that case, right? As it's probably a breaking change.
I guess suggestion, but we are not sure how to proceed. From our perspective,
this sounds like a breaking change, right?
yeah, like a breaking change, and because what I want to say is, if this is an edge case, I would still want to ask, like, is this just a matter of updating the documentation? You know?
Here's a interesting thing that I read this week. So there was someone on the Rails forum complaining about migrations. The person said that on the docs you could the docs suggest that you can delete old migrations, right? But what happens is, if you delete old migrations and you have migrations for engines, like for Rails modules and things like that, that kind of breaks things, because engines generate their own migrations by checking what migrations are present. But the point is, the person suggested either you change how these things work, or you update the docs. And then they decided to just update the docs for that, because it was a big change.
Right.
So it would probably be not impossible, but it would break a lot of stuff. You wouldn't be able to fix old people's migrations. And so they just added to the docs, right?
Okay.
And it makes sense.
Yeah.
But in this case, it's not a big change, it's just a change on the default. So I don't think it's a big deal. It's probably doable. But it is a breaking change. But I don't think it's a big deal.
Okay,
Should be fine.
Is an elegant solution. Well, no. What the fuck? No.
What
I wanted to say is that it is more straightforward than what we try to do, but we are not the persons who decide that. I don't know.
I guess we have to wait until Pixeltrix or someone else chimes in.
I guess what we can do in the meantime is to take a look at how the current implementation works, and
you mean
just
the
take a
draw
look.
routes?
Yeah. But yeah, we will definitely have to wait. Because, for example, we are here, right? Active storage. Draw routes. Is this on active storage or on? I think it is, right?
It's on the config.
Okay. It is.
Yeah, see, it has a default, so we have to change that. It's not a big deal, but we're probably gonna have to look into the defaults, because Rails has a defaults generator per version or something that you can use and things like that. So maybe search for it. I think it's called Rails config defaults or something. Search on Google. Because probably there's some code that generates that. I would be interested in seeing how that works. You probably add the generator, add
like
something. Yeah. No. It's
no. Oh no, this is.
It's Rails
Definition.
configuration default. Version or something. Yeah.
Oh. No, this is.
Yeah, so let's see this one. New framework default. Yeah, maybe it's framework defaults. Let's search for that.
I know this person.
Oh. Yeah, search for framework defaults.
Okay, so framework defaults.
Because this is kind of a neat thing that they do. So whenever you update your Rails version, some defaults will change, right? And what they do is they generate this little file with the changes, and then you can apply them or not, which is pretty cool. Yeah.
Is that the one that Melissa showed?
I don't know how, when.
She was updating her.
Okay. Yeah.
Rails
Yeah.
Okay.
So.
Nice.
Yeah, probably we have to like write a default or something.
Move new default. Oh, here's a Rails. Move new defaults initializers.
Yeah, config initializer, new framework defaults. Interesting. Let's check the code and see if we can find this stuff.
Okay, so framework defaults.
Framework, Control P, framework defaults. Yeah, so maybe let's see.
So this file contains migration option.
Rails 7.
Well, where is the implementation?
Yeah, that's a good question. I don't know how it works, but it's kind of a cool thing. I would like to learn how it works.
Oh, here? No. Sorry, what is the name? Framework
defaults, something like that. New framework defaults. Yeah, let's look at this one. Upgrading Ruby on Rails.
Okay.
Yeah, so Rails provides the Rails update command. After updating the Rails version in the gem file, run this command. Yeah, so when you want to update the version, you change it, let's say, from 5 to 5.2. And then you run this command, and then it generates a little file and overwrites some of the files you have. And then I think it kind of keeps the old defaults or something.
So the new Rails version might have different configuration defaults than the previous version. However, after following the steps above, your application would still run with configuration defaults from the previous Rails version. Allow you upgrading. Configuration test. Development. Develop, delete. Hmm. Okay. So technically, what we would need to do would be to here instead of being like this is where we would need to change.
Well, not just that.
Uh-huh.
Some other related stuff, but yeah,
Mm-hmm.
you could start there.
Let's see. Yeah. Initializer. Okay. Uh so let's ask there in
Yeah, so let's say thank you for the suggestion. You like your idea? But I'm not sure how to proceed. That does sound like a breaking change. We're happy to implement whatever.
if that's the direction
Yeah, sure.
you and Basiltrix
Yeah, want to take. Yeah, that's it. I think I like his idea better because I think it's gonna be a little cleaner, easier to understand.
Yeah.
But at the same time, yeah, I guess this service. Yeah, no, I think it looks better, but I'm not the one to decide. Yeah.
Yeah, I think live chat. Oh, I just realized that I was in the wrong chat this whole time.
No,
So
I can see the chat.
okay. Well, that's what we did today, I guess.
No, so I would like to see the mirror service that he was talking about because I'm curious to see how it works.
Mirror service.
And then maybe we can answer him.
Okay. But if we go with the other direction, we wouldn't have to do this, right?
Yeah. We wouldn't need to touch that, but I just want to know how it works. Okay. What is it supposed to do? I have an idea, but I would like to look at it.
Okay, maybe let me search just for mirror.
Go to the docs. Let's look at the docs and let's see what they talk about mirror service, because this is kind of interesting. Having two places where you can store the files is kind of a neat idea. I didn't know you could do that.
Wraps a set of mirror services and provides a single service object that will have all the files uploaded to them.
See, this is neat because I didn't know you could do that. I didn't know you could use a mirror service, which is kind of cool because let's say you have an app that runs on Amazon, but you also like some companies need to have a multi-cloud deployment. So like if something happens to Amazon, at least you still have another deployment on GCP or whatever. But then what do you do with the files that you have, right? You have to upload them to two places and figure out which one to pick, whatever. But this is kind of neat, so you have kind of a redundancy built in.
So you can keep multiple services in sync by defining a mirror service. Replicates, uploads, and deletes across two or more subordinate services. A mirror service is intended to be used temporarily during a migration between services in production. Yeah, so
Mm.
only during deployment then, for example, that would be a case.
No, what they are saying here is that it's only when you're moving
Oh,
services.
okay.
So, for example, let's say I'm using S3, right?
Uh-huh.
And then I decide to use another service. I don't know, GCP,
Okay,
whatever they
okay.
have. And so the mirror service would help you migrate the files over to the other place. And when you're done, you can shut it down so that you don't have 404s, for example. Just, yeah, that's pretty cool. Let me read again. Intent to be used temporarily during a migration between services in production. You can start mirroring to a new service, copy pre-existing files from the old to the new, then shut down the old, which is pretty cool. Mirroring is not atomic. It's possible for an upload to succeed on the primary and fail on any of the subordinates. For going all in on a new server, verify that all the files have been copied. Yes, this is pretty cool.
Yeah. So this is how you define. Reference them by name when defining a mirror service. So you have one service S3, two, and then we have a service mirror with the primary and the mirror. So you can have more than one mirror.
So this is cool because I have a client who uses S3. We have some images on S3 on a bucket, but it's on a different region. I would like to move it to a different region, but it's kind of annoying because I have to move everything and then I might cause some downtime.
Yeah.
But I didn't know you could just do that and keep the service running. Because if I did that, I would have probably the website, some images would be down for a while I move things over. But this is pretty cool. I can use that.
So mirror services are compatible with direct uploads. New files are directly uploaded to the primary service. When a directly uploaded file is attached to a record, a background job is in queue to copy it to the secondary services.
So when you upload, attached to a record, then you have a background job who copies the file to the secondary service. That's pretty cool.
So in that case, what happens if there is a mirror service? Oh, I see. It's because it wouldn't be a disk service, it would be a mirror.
Yeah.
Okay.
So probably you have to handle that case where if it's a mirror service, you have to see whatever service you have inside. Do you want to look at the code? Or, yeah, let's open mirror service maybe.
Oh, they even have a mirror job here. Let's see. Mirror service.
Wraps a set of a mirror service and provides a single active storage service on primary service designates or calls. Let's see. Primary and mirrors. Yes, probably we need to look at primary and the mirrors and see what they are. Primary mirrors, name, blah blah blah. Mirrors collect mirror name, instance name, blah blah blah. Yeah, I think what we can do, we could answer him and say, good point, we can look at the mirror and check if the primary and or the mirrors are
configured,
if
set up.
let's say we can good point. It's a D.
Oops.
Good point. Let's say we can look.
At
We
the
can
service.
handle that case. Let's say we can handle this case
Mm-hmm.
by checking if the service is a mirror one and we if
Hmm?
and if the primary or the mirrors of this service it's kind of complicated to explain that,
But wait, will
because this is a
service
list
mirror-
of services, right?
Okay, so you will have one that is a mirror, and then
Mm-hmm.
inside that one, and then
Yeah.
you have a list of mirrors.
We can even test that.
Mm,
So
okay. So it's not. Okay, so if the service is a mirror one, and if either the primary, and if any of the mirrors services are a disk service.
yeah, so
Right.
that's it. We can probably, because I don't know, we can probably handle this case, like you
Ah.
said. Probably handle this case. Handle
It's
this
a
case, but
mirror,
if it serves a
and
mirror,
if
then
any of its mirrors
or primary services are disk services. Oh, is a disk service. Sorry, is a disk service. English.
Mm-mm.
Yeah, good point. Compare him this case by checking if the
Mhm.
service is a mirror and if any of these mirrors primary service
Mhm.
is disk service. Yeah,
Mhm.
because if you have the name of the service, yeah, would be nice to be able to inspect a mirror service and see if primary mirrors are services or just names, but they probably are, and then you just handle that, I guess. Mirror service mirror. Yeah, it's probably doable. It's probably doable.
Hmm. Okay. Should we mention here? No, or no, because this is just related to this.
Yeah, I guess we can just answer him, and then we
Mhm.
probably wait for their decision.
So maybe we can we moved the discussion to the issue.
Don't say
I don't-
that.
no.
He already pinged
Hmm.
him there.
Okay.
Because let's say they decide, oh no, let's just keep doing this way.
Mm-hmm.
That we don't have to go back and say, no, we're moving it back here and we're just doing this. Let's just keep it simple.
Yeah. Okay.
Thank you for your suggestion. Like your idea, we're not sure how to proceed. From our side, it sounds like a breaking change. We're happy to change implementation if that's the direction we want to take. Yep, that's fine.
Fine.
And they'll probably get back to us.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I didn't see this before. Otherwise, but it's good that we saw it now and we learned about
Mhm.
this.
Yeah, we learned something. The mirror service, I didn't know you could do that.
Yeah.
So if you want to move your files to a different S3 folder
Yeah.
bucket or a different service. You can use that, and then it handles that for you. It has the job already.
Mm-hmm.
Do you want to look at the job? See how it
Yeah.
works? It's pretty
I
interesting
think
stuff.
it was. I saw.
It's probably mirror job.
Here.
I think.
Yeah.
Mirror job. So let's see. It has a queue. Discard. Non file not found. 10 attempts. Active storage. Blob service. Try. What is try?
Mirror key. Try. Isn't that. Try isn't. I thought.
Oh, I mean to get the value out of that?
I think it.
Let's look at the code. So
Yeah.
blob service, whatever. It's probably service. Yeah, let's look at mirror service maybe.
We saw
Is
it.
there a try there? Active store. Alright, let's look at service down here. Yeah. Let's
Service.
see. What is try? Is that a method or something else?
No.
Is that from like
Isn't.
hashes or something?
I think so. Maybe it's not.
Ruby try?
Isn't Ruby?
Yeah, could be.
Yeah. Let's see.
Oh yes, it tries to invoke the method.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. Yeah, it's like a send, right?
Okay. So unlike that method, however, you won't raise our error.
Oh. Oh, I see. So let's go back. So it's just like send, but it doesn't raise an error
Yeah.
if the method is not present. So what it's doing is it gets the
Okay. Sorry. Let me mirror job.
so it gets the mirror by a key. What is key? Is that the job key or something? Checksum key.
Isn't the service key the primary?
Is that the service key or the blob key? Can I see the code again?
I think that they had an explanation here. So new files are directly uploaded to copy it.
Let me see the code again.
Okay.
So mirror job inherits from base job. Let's look at base job, active storage base job.
Base job.
Perform.
Active job base.
It doesn't really do anything. Let's yeah, I don't know how that works. Base job. So service tries to get the mirror by a key. The service has a mirror. Yeah, I think if you go back to the service, the mirror service has mirror, right?
Yeah.
Somewhere. Or no. Mirrors. Oh, it has
Mirror.
mirrors. Oh yeah.
It
Okay.
has
Oh yeah. So it
so-
calls. Let's see. Copy the file. Oh, so this method copies the file. Copy the file. Add the key from the primary server to each of the mirrors where it doesn't
already exists.
Interesting. So mirror key checksum do. If mirrors in need of mirroring, you select the service from the mirror that doesn't have that key, right?
Yeah.
And then you copy the file over. Oh, that's interesting. So it checks mirrors in need of mirroring. So for each mirror, it selects the services, the mirror, where the service doesn't have that key. So it has to go and check on each one of them. Hey, do you have this file? Hey, do you have this file? And then for each of them, I guess, yeah, for each one of them, it copies the thing over in synchronously, I guess. Yeah, in step by step for each mirror. Yeah, all right, that's cool. Learned something new.
Okay. Yeah. Well, it's actually good to know that what we did was complicated. That means that when we get to a decision, it will be easier. And plus, we have way more context now.
Yeah.
Right? We don't need to spend several 2-hour sessions trying to figure things out.
And I guess the mirror service thing could be a good blog post because I didn't know about this feature. So it can move things around, it has its own job, and you don't have to do it manually. Because I would do something very similar if I wanted to move the files.
Yeah.
But this does it for me.
Yeah, I loved that GitHub says may be fixed by. Yeah.
Cool.
Okay, I think this was a good session.
Yeah. Do you wanna? Well, let's not update
No.
the the branch because
No.
the fork because it's always kind of annoying. But
Yeah, we tried doing that live. It didn't go very well.
yeah, I guess the code is more organized now. It's just one commit, so it
Yeah.
should be simpler, but still, it's not something you want to do live.
Yeah. Something that I like that they say in the docs is while you are waiting for code review, you can look at the other ones that are open and like give your input if you have, of course, something constructive to give.
Yeah, you could even reproduce some of the issues. So this is a pull request, right?
Yeah.
But let's look at the issues then.
Yeah. Wow. Someone is angry. Camera. Okay. Wow, this is from February. Okay. Yeah, but if, for example, this one is a doc.
Yeah. Whatever happens, we can always pick another issue and work on that while they decide.
Yeah.
Not returning collection.
What is a add non-bug?
So the interesting thing is that if you're on, you can always look at the new version like Rails 7 and try to see if something breaks. So that's a good, I think it's always useful to, for example, you update to Rails 7 and you check to see if one of the gens don't work anymore, you know, things like that. Because it's always useful for maintainers of other open source projects to know that their gen is not going to work on the new version.
Yeah.
I think Guy told us that, right? Our friend Guy.
Yeah. Okay.
So when is the Rails 7 version coming out? Did they announce that somewhere?
I don't know. How do we know that?
I don't know. Maybe on Rails forums.
Can you see the release in like
maybe
in progress?
there's a branch somewhere, or yeah, maybe there's a branch. 6.1. Can you search for 7 branches? 7. I guess it's not a tag, so yeah, I don't know where that lives. Maybe it's master. So master is the new version always.
I don't know.
know.
Well, okay. I think that's good for today. I had a long day, but I'm happy about it. Like we might have went through a more complicated solution than was needed, and it's actually pretty nice to get the feedback from
Another person.
Yeah, another person, and
because it is it seems like a better solution. Because it's more flexible. If you think about it, say you add a new crazy type of service that needs some specific routes as well. I don't know.
Oh, maybe we can even move this to this forum. I don't know.
Yes, sometimes they discuss features on the Rails forum.
Right.
I guess it's more complicated stuff. Yeah, so someone proposes a feature. Because a pull request and an issue sometimes not the best place to discuss a complicated issue.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, let's wait and then we can happily move this to a Rails forum discussion for sure.
Yeah, it's fine.
I guess even people look at that even more than here, so I don't know. Service.
So Action Mail uses the disk service. Interesting.
Coming.
Can you use like it can be any service, right? It doesn't need to be the disk service. This is kind of neat. So your emails go to S3. Interesting.
Okay, so that's where we'll stop today. Hopefully we will get some response, but we understand if that's not possible. In the meantime, next week we can try something else, or even try improving our debugging tools in Rails. I don't know.
Yeah.
Right? Yeah. There's tons of things that we want to try that we have been learning on the side, and we can do that while we wait for the feedback.
Yeah, we have some cool price skills now we can use.
Exactly. All right. Let me know if anyone wants to say anything in the chat. Thanks for watching. I hope you are learning as much as we do. And remember, if two people that are completely new to Rails can get this far, you can too. So we hope to see you next time. Thank you.
Yeah, thanks so much for joining, and drink water.
Yeah.
It's too warm. So yeah, take care of yourself, and we'll see you next week.
Yeah.
Bye-bye.
Bye.